Hey there, welcome to video 2 of the Divi course. In this video, we're going to be going over how to create a local WordPress development environment. So we went over hosting in the last section, but say you want to just practice, working with Divi, practice with WordPress, experiment a couple things, test out some plugins before you add them to your production site. What you can do is you can quickly spin up a local WordPress development environment on your computer, no hosting required, and start testing things out. So what I'm going to show you is how to do that here. So if you go to localwp.com, we're going to go ahead and download a free tool here. You can pay for it as well for additional features. Let me show you really quick the difference. So in the free version, you get one-click WordPress installation. So you can quickly spin up a WordPress instance. SSL support. So if you want to test things like maybe some payment stuff, you need an SSL certificate. You're able to access that. If you know SSH and you want to set up, you want to SSH into that local machine and then set up, a some sort of pipeline, or you want to set up something custom in the database, you can do that as well. And then you can just set up all sorts of different environments as far as, you know, server types, PHP versions, all those things. And then in the paid versions, you get all these different things to share your local instance if you're working with other people, and then I guess you can maybe do some version control with local connect, um, and connect that with like maybe your flywheel hosting and stuff like that. So the free version will be just fine for us. So what you can do is just click on download for free and choose your platform. So I'm on Windows here. If you're on Mac or Linux, you can choose those. And then you'll type in your information here and then click Get Now, and then it'll start the installation. So just go through the process, of installing any other program. And then what I'll do is I'll go to local here and I'll click on that. And then I'll give that a second to open up. Okay, so now I've opened up my local WordPress tool here, and you see here I have a couple local sites already set up here. So I can click on those and check everything out. If I want to edit anything, I can. If I want to access the database, I can do that as well. Um, and I can start the site if I want to just go ahead and hop right into it. So if this is your first time installing this tool, this software, and using it, you might not see anything here. So what we're going to do is click on this bottom left little plus icon to add a new site, and we'll just call it, Divi Course or something, just for the sake of this video. And I like to click on advanced options just to make sure everything looks good. So this will be the domain, and then this is kind of where I will be storing everything. So if you want to store them somewhere specific, you can as well. It'll just kind of store it into your root like user on your computer. It may look a little different on Mac and Linux. And then you can create a blueprint. Now, what a blueprint basically is if you have certain like you're always going to be spinning up Divi instances. What I can do is I can create a local instance of WordPress. I can install Divi with it. I can maybe set up a child theme. I can adjust some settings, adjust some preferences, maybe add a few more plugins. And then what I can do is based on that WordPress instance, after I've made those changes, I've added the child theme, I've maybe adjusted some code in the functions.php, or I've added a few plugins, I can create a blueprint off of that, and then anytime I want to create a similar website, or maybe the exact website, so I don't have to always install Divi, then we'll do that. So that's how you create a blueprint, and then I can just click on that and then create the site from a blueprint, and it'll automatically have all of those things installed and ready to go. So we'll create a new one, and then we'll make a blueprint with Divi, so you don't ever have to install Divi and all those other things. So I'm going to hit continue, and you can do preferred if that looks good for you. PHP 7.3 is fine. Web server is Nginx. MySQL version 8.0. Okay, that's okay. So some of these other hosting providers, they may have a different type of web server. So you'll probably see two. You'll see Nginx, and then you'll see Apache. So I'm happy with version 7.4. The latest version of PHP is always kind of what I go with. The web server, Apache or Nginx, they're both great. I use Amazon Lightsail. They use Apache. Your hosting provider may use Apache or Nginx. You can kind of just can ask them and see. But I just like to use Apache, and then the database will always just be the latest MySQL 8.0. And then I'll hit continue. And this is honestly totally up to you. If you want to just click preferred, you shouldn't have any trouble if you're just practicing and stuff. You can just whip it up really quick. So I'm gonna hit continue there. Type in a WordPress username. So this is gonna be the username and password that you use to sign into your admin panel. So I'm gonna just type in Kelly. That's my first name, and then password will just be test password or something like that. And then just make sure I spell everything good. That's fine. You can, if you want to get technical with it, you can as well. And then I just leave this as default because I know I'm not gonna need it to do anything with the email or anything like that or reset password. So that's fine. And I'm gonna add site, and that's gonna take a few seconds. You may have some like admin pop-ups appear. So I have this one here. I'll click yes. I think my screen may have went black, but basically it just said, locals trying to basically spin up a server on your local machine. Just click yes. And then it'll take a minute to add everything. So maybe I'll play some music right now while we're waiting, so it's not too boring. So maybe I'll add some Jerry Seinfeld stand-up comedy while we're waiting.
I never had dates, of course, when I was a teenager. Didn't happen when I was a teenager. I used to go out with my dog. It's true. You ever do that? On Saturday, Sunday afternoon, you've got nothing to do. He's generally free. He's always free, just waiting for you.
Okay, so that's all done. Now I can see the web servers are using Apache, PHP version 7.4, MySQL 8.0, WordPress version is 5.5. I do have an SSL already installed. Okay, so now I can click on View Site, and it takes me straight to the WordPress instance here. So let's go ahead and log in. So I'm going to click Admin here. I'll close all this stuff here. I'll type in my username and password and log in here. So perfect. I'm just going to go ahead and dismiss some of the stuff, clean some of this stuff up, just like my preference. And then the first thing I need to do is I want to create a local environment for Divi so I can create a blueprint. So I'm going to go ahead and install the Divi theme. So I'll go to the Elegant Themes website and download my theme. Perfect. So I'll go to Appearance here, Themes, and this is how you're going to install any new theme and how you're going to install themes or the Divi theme on your WordPress instance. So Themes, and then Add New, and then I'm going to click Upload Theme again here at the top, and then choose File. I'm going to go ahead and navigate to that file, Divi right there, click OK, and then Install Now. So I'm going to give that a second to load up. So it may take a minute or two depending on your internet connection and just how big the file is. So Divi is installing onto our local machine, so it's just unpacking everything. And then now I can click Activate, and that looks good. So now what I can do is I can see if I go to Visit Site, I see the Divi standard header here and just your regular post here and a footer. So I'm going to click on Dashboard. Now, this is pretty much all I want to do. I want to keep this a little bit more basic right now, and in a video maybe further in the course, I'm going to be be showing you how to create a child theme and why you would need to do that, and kind of why people do that, and why people sell child themes and things like that. So in this case, I'm just going to show you how to install Divi, and then we can get started just working with Divi and starting to build and learn and do things. So now I did say I wanted to create a blueprint of this site. So now if I ever wanted to just spin up another local instance of WordPress with Divi, I could just I can just use the blueprint, and then I wouldn't have to ever reinstall Divi. Before I do that, I might even want to add my credentials to um, this instance so that I don't ever have to re-add my username and my API credentials. So I'm going to go ahead and click on theme options. So Divi theme options, and then go to updates here, and then just type in your information. So your username and then your API key. So I'm going to pause the video really quick. So I have my username and my API key, so I can save changes. So now I'll be able to get any updates. That looks good. And I know that once I go to pages and I add a new page, it's going to take me to the block editor here. Now I don't want to deal with the block editor. I don't want to deal with the new styling and the new visual kind of editor here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to also go to Divi theme options. I'm going to go to Builder, Advanced, and then enable the classic editor. Now I'm just kind of doing these things quickly just so we can set up our blueprint. And this is kind of my personal preference for editing. So if I go back into like sample page, it looks normal with regular posts, the regular sort of post style, and then use Divi builders right there. If I add a new page, it looks just like that. So it's kind of up to you as far as how you want to work. You can work in the newer block editor and then use the Divi visual builder, but I prefer doing it this way. So that's pretty much everything I want to do for initial setup. So what I can do is reopen up local here, and I can right click on the site that I want to save as a blueprint, and then I can just click on save as blueprint. I can name it, so let's just say Divi theme site or something like that, and then I can just save that blueprint. And it may take a minute or two to compress everything. So now any future builds that I have, I can use this blueprint, and then all of those things that we just changed, the API information, the enabling classic editor, all that stuff will be saved. So we'll be good to just spin it up and then get editing and get building without having to redo all of that stuff. So that's done. Now if I clicked on this plus sign again to create a new site, I could use that Divi theme site as the blueprint. So that's super helpful, and you can create as many local sites as you want without having to, download a hosting and use your hosting for demo sites and for practice. You can just, spin up a site and then get working. And then you don't even need, you don't even need internet if you aren't installing any more plugins. You just start editing. So that's also super, super helpful. So that's how you create a local WordPress environment with Divi, so you can start editing, practicing, and building client websites straight on here. And then you could even just build the entire website locally and then use something like WP migration or something to copy it straight to the live production server. So if you have any questions about local or about Divi or anything like that, let me know, and I'd be more than happy to answer them. We'll see you in the next video.